we flipped it, but we only flipped the right side. And we stayed NPVs for everything but the top left, because this was in the denominator, x, and now x plus 1 is. So we have x minus 3 in brackets. Can't do anything about that. We have an equal sign because this rational expression equals this one. 2x minus 5 is in its own brackets, x in its own brackets, x plus 1 is in its own brackets. Now, it's the fraction ones that people find the hardest for NPVs, right? So, make sure your phones are away and you're writing out these notes. Do I state it for x minus 3? No, because I don't state it for the top left. That's the only one that's never in the denominator ever, not once. 2x minus 5, that one people find harder to do, so that one I would actually physically do the math for, okay? Just so you don't mess up and say the fraction backwards. So 2x minus 5 can't equal 0. Add your 5 over. So 2x can't equal 5, and then divide by 2. So x cannot equal 5 halves, right? So that's the one that people find harder to do, understandably. X plus 1. X plus 1. What NPV do I get for that? Minus 1, because minus 1 plus 1 is 0. So you get negative 1. And then the x on the top gets you 0. So these are your 3 NPVs. You're right. Please, for the 2x minus 5, do the work for it. Don't like try and do it in your head and then give me 5 over, or 2 over 5 all the time instead of 5 over 2, which happens all the time. Okay? Now, is there anything I can cross off? I've stated NPVs. Can I cancel anything? Because now we're just at multiplication. We're actually just doing what we just did on our quiz. Anything on the top or the bottom that can cancel? Can I cancel the x off of, like, no. Nothing. Don't kill a kitty. Okay. No. So x minus 3, and then 2x minus 5x plus 1. Unless they've expanded it, don't. You're done. Don't make your life harder. Because when you do division of a rational or of a fraction, you have to invert and multiply what you're dividing by. I flipped the right-hand side? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean I just wrote them in a different order. Yeah. Okay. Usually the people write the single x first. It's just the way it's written. Had you written x minus 3 times x, you'd be still right. Nothing different because you're just multiplying. Okay, so B, the very first step I'm going to do for B is I'm going to invert or find the reciprocal of the right-hand side and then multiply. So I have x minus 5, so it equals x minus 5 over 3x squared minus 9x times 6x minus 18 over negative 5. Okay? Before I go and do anything, what am I going to do to the tops and bottoms? Nope. I have to do something else for that. GCF or difference of squares. So, on the top left, I have x minus 5. Not going to get any better than that. On the bottom left, I have 3x squared minus 9x. What can I take out, guys? 3x. And then I'm left with x minus 3. What can I do with that 3 and that x? Brackets. Because they're not attached by plus or minus signs, they are separate. So I can put them in their own brackets. Times, top right. What can I take out? A 6. And then I'm left with x minus 3. What should I do with that 6? Put it in brackets because it's by itself. Over negative 5. Now I state NPVs for everything but the top left. And this is only if we're doing what? Division. Okay. So I have state NPVs. Does 3 get me an NPV? What about x? What about x minus 3? What about 6? Nothing. X minus 3 gets me. And then negative 5 gets me. Nothing. Stop. Okay. So Now I can do what? Cancel. What's common to the top and the bottom? Ooh, x minus 5 and negative 5. I've canceled the negative 5s off. No, stop. Don't do that. So, x minus 3, x, yes, stop. That's what I think. 3 and the 6, what can I take out? 3. Someone said 2. That scared me a little. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And can I do those 5s like I said? Can I take them off for the x and the x? No. That x minus 5 needs to match exactly on the bottom. It's not there. You can't do it. So I'm left with x minus 5 times 2. And I usually write the monomial first. So I'm going to write 2 times x minus 5. And then on the bottom, I have x and minus 5. So I can combine them to x minus 5 and cancel them off. No. What are they? What's happening to them? They're being multiplied. So negative 5x. Or if you put x in brackets times negative 5, that's the same thing. Okay, you'd still get marks. X cannot equal 0 and 3. Okay? Oops. Go away. Try C and D. So the first step, I'm going to do rewrite the right-hand side. Flipped. Then you're going to take out GCF or difference of squares, all of the numerators and denominators. So 2w stays 2 in w. 24w plus 4w squared, you can take out a 4w. And then you're left with 6 plus w. Now the 4 and the w can be in brackets. 9w cubed plus 54w squared, you can take out a 9w squared. The 9 and the w squared can go in their own brackets. 9w cubed, take out a 9w squared. You're left with w. 54w squared divided by 9w squared, what are you left with? 6. And then the denominator, I can take out a 6 and a w. They'd be in their own brackets. 6w squared divided by 6w is w. 6w divided by 6w is 1, so it'd be minus 1. So we have to state our NPVs. W cannot equal, what about the 4? Nope. The w? 0. 6 plus w, what would w have to be? Negative 6. The 9? Nothing. W squared gets you 0, which we already stated, so we don't have to state it again. W plus 6 gets you negative 6, which we don't have to state again. 6 gets you nothing. W gets you 0. And then w minus 1, 1. Now that we have them stated, we can cancel off common terms. So w plus 6 and 6 plus w are the same because they both have a positive 6 in front, or a positive plus sign in front of the 6 and the w. W and w can cancel. You can go that way. You can cancel off other ones. Doesn't matter. The 9 and the 6, I can take out a 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. W and the w squared, I can take off one w. 2 and 4, I can take out a 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then I think I've got them all. So let's see. 1 times 1 times 1 times 3 times 1 times w times 1 is 3w. And on the bottom, I have 2 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 2 times 1 times 1 times w minus 1 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. W minus 1. And then w cannot equal 0, negative 6, and 1. And then the a plus 3 is over a 1. So I can write it as a minus 6, 3a squared plus 9a, times 1 over a plus 3. So then I'm left with a minus 6 on the top. And then I can take out a 3a, which I can put in separate brackets. 3a out of 3a squared is a, plus 9a divided by 3a is 3, times 1 over a plus 3. Our NPVs are going to be a can't equal, what does the 3 give me? Nothing. A, 0. A plus 3, negative 3. 1, nothing. A plus 3, negative 3. Now, some people go wild here. They're trying to like cancel off a whole bunch of stuff. Can you cancel anything off? A plus 6 is on the top. Is there any a plus, or a minus 6 on the top? Is there any a minus 6 on the bottom? No, nothing cancels. These are beside each other, so they can't go away. So you're left with a minus 6 over 3a. And how can I write a plus 3 twice instead of writing it twice? Squared. A plus 3 all squared. And then a can't equal 0 and negative 3. Oops, whole thing. Okay, some questions to work on are, and then I'm going to come around and take your marks in from that quiz. Yep. If you just work hard, you can finish it. And now on schedule without. Okay.